Hello, my name is Leonardo and I'm from MAXIMO. On this video, I'm gonna show you 10 quick tips that might improve your performance with MAXIMO. Hopefully, at least one or maybe even more tips will be useful. If not, please share this video with a friend that you think that can learn something new. So, here is tip number 1. Key shortcuts. If I go to the work order tracking application, you can use some shortcuts, for example, Ctrl Alt I to create a new record and Ctrl Alt S to save the record, and we can also change the status using several shortcuts to go through the complete work order flow. For example, Ctrl Alt V, it will approve the work order, and then you have, after Ctrl Alt V, you have Ctrl Alt X. As you can see, the new status is already here because this is the direct shortcut to the new status. And next we have Ctrl Alt Y, completed, and finally Ctrl Alt Z or Z to close the work order. Okay, so this is it for the main shortcuts, but we have more to learn. New shortcuts, just go over the icon. Let's say that you want to change the status without a specific value, Ctrl Alt A. And then you want to navigate between records, Ctrl Alt P to go to the previous record and Ctrl Alt N to go to the next one. You have several other keys that you can learn. All you have to do is to go with your mouse over the icon, okay? That's it for tip number 1. Tip number 2, working with multiple windows. You can do that. Some people doesn't know, but you can open a tab here and paste the URL from the first URL that you logged in, and you can keep using MAXIMO. Let's say that I want to check something with my assets and create work orders at the same time. I can do that. I can open 3-4 windows, but keep in mind that for some companies this is restricted, okay? But in general, you have the permission to do it. That's it for tip number 2. This is very useful. It can improve your performance. Although you know that you can go to the applications and use a tree to navigate, you can benefit from multiple windows. Tip number 3, changing the menu position. We have the menu without the buttons here at the top, and I like this one better because this is the original one and I'm used to it. But if you have newer MAXIMO versions, you can change the default information for your user and display the side navigation menu. I click OK. I need to log out and log in again. Let me close this window here. And then you have the side menu here that you can use for select action functionalities. That's it for this tip. You can go back. I will go back to the original menu because I don't like this one very much, but it can be easier for new users. So now I have my old fashioned menu back. Next tip, personal settings. Going back here to my default information, I have my default insert site and my insert site as display filter. This is very basic, but some users, they don't know that. You can change your default insert site, of course, if you have access to other sites, as I do here. So let's say that I want to work for Detroit and I change default insert site and I open my work order tracking application. I have my default filter here from the flag, and if I create a new record here, I have my Detroit site. This is very useful if you move around a lot and you need to change your default information. You can also change the storeroom site and the default storeroom for self-service requisitions. Default application, let's say that I want to automatically open asset application whenever I log in to the system. If I log out here and I log in here, I'm already in my favorite application. Not really, but I will remove this. And you can also specify your language, locale, calendar type, and time zone. This is very useful. For example, my language is Portuguese originally, but let's say that I have Maximo installed in English and Portuguese, and every time that I want to log in, I have to set up my language in the login screen. But if I put my language here, I will always log in with English, regardless of the option that I select in my login page. Okay? Of course, if you have calendar type, you can put Gregorian or Islamic. In my case, Gregorian calendar. And the time zone depends on the size of your company. If it is a multinational company, you have time zones and you need to set your time zone. All you have to do is to select your time zone here. Okay? So I'm just gonna click OK. My configuration is saved, and that's it for this tip. Tip number 5, downloading data to a spreadsheet. Let's say that I want to download the values from these columns here to my spreadsheet, and I have 13 wash lines, and then all I have to do is click here, download. I have now this Excel file here that I will open with all my wash lines information in my favorite spreadsheet. That's basically it. And now feel free to put a layout, a filter, and any calculations that you like. Bear in mind that you will only have the columns that you can see in your list tab. Tip number 6, you can bookmark your records. Now that I bookmarked 3 records, I can click here on bookmarks and see my, let's say, favorite assets. You can also remove. Don't worry, it will not remove the record from the database and it will not affect other users. I can click here and open my favorite asset. Tip number 7, saving a query. Let's use these wash lines here. I need to save my query to have easier access to. All I have to do is to click on this button here, save query or query. Let's say that I want to save my query for wash lines. All I have to do is click here, save query or query, whatever you prefer. I have to name wash lines. I can make it public or default. All I have to do now is to click OK, and then I have my wash lines. If I open all records and now I want to see my wash lines, here we go. One important thing that I have to say to you is that if you want to know more about queries, you can see this video here, and it is also in the description. It's a more complete video on saving queries and advanced search. Okay, next tip, tip number 8. Let's go to work order tracking. This is my favorite application of all times, and I want to show this tip to you here. This is the Alt plus F1. Whenever you are over an attribute, you hit Alt and F1, you can see some information. This is the field help. Some fields will be more helpful, some other fields will be not that useful. But for example, the failure class, I have the field name, the table, and the column of the field, and mainly the description of the field, saying what is this field for. This field is for this, and then you can read and learn something from the help inside the system. Very, very useful if you don't know what a field is for. As I said, some fields have more information. For example, the job plan, the JP num, it's very useful. You might learn something new from this Alt F1. Okay? Next you. Oh, ignora. Tip number 9, you can also use the application context help by clicking on help or using Alt H, which is the shortcut. You have the context help, work order tracking help. If I click here, I have a new tab going to the internet and opening the help for the work order tracking application. You can also search in other modules, or you can even go to the full Maximo Asset Management help by clicking on the first link here. This is the main Maximo help, and you can learn a lot here. All right? And if you go to other application, any other application, you have the context help. This is the help for the assets application. And finally, the last tip, this is a very quick and simple one. If a consultancy company like Maximo Con or any other person needs to know the Maximo version that you are using, all you have to do is to click in the same help button and open system information. We have the application server, all the versions that are within the system, this Maximo, the operating system, and the database, which is Microsoft SQL Server. And if you want to know the Maximo version, you have to look here, IBM MAXIMO Asset Management, and this is the version 7610. This is it. I hope this video was useful. If you have any other question about how to use Maximo, either functional or technical, please add a comment below. If you liked this video, please hit like, it will help a lot. And if you want to see more videos about Maximo in general, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much for your audience, and see you later.